Hi, this is Carl of Team BSG Viper here in Houston, Texas. It's about 95 degrees out here right now, so it's getting kind of hot. So we're going to shoot a video real quick and wrap this up for the day. But wanted to shoot a video to show the fans out there of this project what's going on with it, what it looks like on video. I mean, we take lots of pictures showing you how we're building it, but we figure we'll do a video on it and get the insides and show you what it takes to build this thing. So let's take a view. Here we go. Okay, so here we are. This is the very front section here. It's in work. So we're going to go in the very back, which is where we started. And this is the cockpit section. This is the front landing gear section. And then this is the famous very front with the sloped nose on it. So when we're doing our builds and we show pictures, we break it into feet. So this is section 0 through 6. This is section 6 through 12, and then the cockpit section is 12 through 18. So we've got 18 feet of Viper right here. We pretty much got this section done for the landing gear section, and we'll climb up inside. We'll show you how we put it together, some of the movie magic, and then this section here we're just getting started on it here. Go back to the cockpit section here. This is the first section we did, and we did it for Comic Palooza 2017, and we started it October 2016. We started with the canopy. Took some drawings, photos of the show, reference. That's kind of how we had to go on. I mean, there's not too much material on how to build a Viper, so a lot of it was one step forward, two steps back. A lot of trial and error. We'll get the canopy done. Some light aluminum angle iron, and got rivets on there. We did have some gas shocks, but the ones we had, they failed. So we've got a couple more we're going to install, but our ultimate goal was to get an actuator in here, and that way we can open and close the canopy on the Viper with just one switch and make it more realistic. So that's what we have in plans. And there's the seat with the headrest. That's about the size we wanted to, but it needs to be a little bit thicker and a different color. It needs to be a little bit more darker, almost like the Viper Pilot jacket color. That's a little too light. So like I said, some things we got right, some things we need to go back and change, but we're trying to make this Viper here 1-to-1 scale studio model, and what we're using for reference is blueprints that probably a lot of you have seen. That's for like the landing gears, skids, and the doors. And these are the blueprints of the Viper here. So if we ever say we're doing section 1 through 6, you can see on here on the scale is each one is a foot. So we're doing section 1 through 6. There's 6 through 12, and 12 through 18, and then there's 18 through 28. So once we get that section done right there, which is right there, we'll start proceeding with the engines and the engine intakes and the exhaust and the fins. So we're moving quite along. We wanted to make sure that we got this section done first. This we thought was more important than anything, is to have an accurate cockpit with switches and dials from the show. One thing most people don't know is the actual Viper, which this here was the photo of the original, and understanding it was destroyed in a fire, so it's no more. but this was the one that was used in Saga the Star World and other stills. I think they used it in Galactica 1980, but they made it a two-seater version. But we wanted to make a Viper with a cockpit where this version here doesn't have this. It was just a black tub that they sat in with a light in front of them. So it's a little more movie magic there that they did. And when you see them flipping the switches on the in the cockpit, there was actually an external cockpit that the actor just put his hand on a joystick, and they had some of the lights and switches. So that's because they couldn't fit the camera. They couldn't fit the camera in here. So we're actually going beyond what the studio did, and we're trying to make it a fully interactive Viper that people can actually get in, get their photo op, and we've actually tried it out. If you've seen some of our pictures, you can put the Viper pilot helmet on and sit in comfortably. So it is quite roomy. Doesn't look like it is, but it is. What we're going to do is we're going to go climb up underneath here. This is where the nose landing gear is going to be, and get an idea of how we did this and how we put this together. So let's climb on down. And you can see that's what we're rolling it around on. We've got two sets of furniture dolly wheels, and it moves around quite well because it's lightweight. So let's get underneath here. It's like climbing under a car. And here we are inside. This is the nose gear bay. So you can see we got some ribs in here that we took off the blueprints. And this is how we've got the sections bolted together. We've got three big bolts right there. We've got some L brackets. Make sure that we're in place. Probably going to put a couple more down here at the bottom. And our goal is, with the landing gear, is we're going to build a metal frame that goes underneath here to support the whole thing. And that way when it's up on the landing gear skid, it is all supported by a metal frame. And then we'll come around here. This is the front. And that's where the nose is. So we'll go up that way. So you can see a lot of detail, a lot of work, just trying to get it supportive. Alright, we're going to come back out here again, and like in here, that's where the cockpit panel is. So as you can see, we've got instruments in here. Those right there, those are actually aircraft instruments that our electronic wizard, Mr. George, was able to track down. A lot of wires and speakers and things we need to make the movie magic work inside the cockpit. But it is possible. So we're going to come on back out. Alright. I'm going to do this. Okay. So we're going to bring, and we'll go around to the back side. I'll show you what it looks like back here. And that's what we're using for reference too, is we're using the actual model kits. They're not 100%. They did a couple things on there that the actual studio scale didn't do, maybe to enhance the model, but we are using all different types of references and blending it together to make sure it's right. So this is the back half here, and what we'll probably do is when we put this together, we'll take that back panel off, so that we can access and we can merge them all together. There's kind of an idea how long just the front is there. And the canopy. The canopy will actually go up higher. We just don't have the room for it right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a demonstration of the cockpit, the heart of the Viper. And this section will be done here. This is, I call them the gun maintenance bays or whatever. We've got to 3D those out. Make some wood blocks in there to make that better. Okay, so we're gonna, basically what we have right now is we have a nice little ladder that you basically climb into the Viper just like you would a jet fighter. So put one hand up forward here, bring your foot around, step on the seat, step on down. Step on down. There we go. In the Viper. Alright, so we got some leg room in here. Now I'm 6'1", and I've got lots of room in here. I mean, this thing is really roomy. Of course, the promo video is playing again, but you kind of get an idea of, you know, there wasn't any blueprints for building this. We went on reference photos only. So, then you've got aircraft circuit breakers, just like you would in an aviation, a jet airliner. Toggle switches. We're redoing these right now. We just did some quick ones to get them in there because we were pressed for time for the show. But toggle switches up here, they really don't do anything. A couple of them actually make them turn on and off, like that one there. And we got this wonderful instrument we used in the show. Never said what it was for. Those are your aircraft instruments. And we actually have these, something that Starbuck would tap on, or one of the pilots would tap on, but we actually have those. We got to put those in place, so we got to tear this panel back out. And we have our lovely, as you see, your starting sequence. Bottom ones don't do anything, but it's the ones that, the top ones that are more important. Boom, boom, boom. All right, ready for launch. Off, off, off. Now our toggle switches and guards. And the historic Viper joystick. This is actually a 3D print right now. The buttons don't do anything. We're trying to track down a actual one used for the show, the Mohawk. This panel here, that's the actual famous when Starbuck has been shot, and there's a circuitry behind it, so we could actually do that if we wanted to. I call that Starbuck's on fire circuitry panel. And we come over here, and that is supposedly where Cora is. So some people have asked, are you putting Cora in a Viper? Well, maybe down the road we can. But right now, she's not incorporated in this Viper, because this one's going to have lasers. And there are the people that are in charge. Simulation loading, which is pretty cool. This gave people a couple minutes to sit in the Viper and I didn't get so much glare on there, but Mr. George, our wonderful electronics expert, made this video out of off the Blu-ray and DVD, which really adds to it. And the speaker here, when it's louder, actually it does the red and green crosshair, which is cool. We've got a fire extinguisher back here, small flight fire extinguisher. One thing we've learned is as a Viper pilot, you can't get in the Viper with your sidearm on. So I would imagine they probably stowed it somewhere in here, but you can get in with the big boots, but you can't get in with your sidearm. Makes it more difficult. So you can kind of get an idea here what it actually looks like to sit inside a Viper from the nose here. One thing you won't ever see, and I'll show it to you, is put a Cylon in a Colonial Viper. That's something you don't see every day. But hey, who knows? Maybe a Comapalooza will see it. Take that off. It's rather hot for that to be on. Back to the promo video again. Okay, so you can see arms are sitting up on the side, just like they did in the show. So right height, nice depth in here. We're probably gonna add some more lights in here. I know some of the screenshots they show some green. So we're probably going to get some LED greens in here and give it a little more depth on the cockpit here. So we're going to climb on back out. Like I said, it's getting, you know, it's about noontime here in Houston, and the heat's already starting to crank up. So So when they say you make something in blood, sweat, and tears, yeah, I've cut my fingers a few times. Sweating my butt off putting this together, and cried a few times when something wasn't right and had to tear it apart again. But something we want to do with the Viper next year is, like I said, it's going to be, the first premiere is going to be in Houston, Comicpalooza 2018. I'm not sure what month that is right now, but you can check on our website. You can check on Team BSG Viper, or you can check also on Battlestar Raven BFC 002. And this is something we want to kind of do for any celebrity that comes to the show and they want to get in the cockpit. We're going to make them an honorary plaque where they can sign for it, and the Viper will be theirs for that time being. So as we have Miss Ann Lockhart, we'd love for her to be here. We made one for even Richard, because the big thing is when we started this in October of 2016, we were going to meet Richard and show him what we were doing. And unfortunately, when we were about halfway done with this project, that's Richard passed in April. So never got a chance to show this to Richard. It was a big deal for us, because I'm sure he would really like to see this. Richard will be part of this always. But that's kind of it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to instant message me. Like I said, I've got probably about 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks to finish this section here. Then we're going to tweak up the details on here. We've got some lines we want to etch inside. This is actually like pinstriping you use on a car. I think that's what they used on the studio. We want to actually, when we want to etch, we want to etch that. We want that to be permanent. We want to make it look nice. Looks pretty cool. I mean, we got it dingy looking a little bit like it was a used Viper. And it, like I said, it was a big hit for Comicpalooza 2017. We had kids climbing in it, adults. I mean, you just saw their eyes light up and smile and give us a thumbs up. So it was a great success. It was a good test, and it was, we thought that's okay. If that's what people want, then we're going to go to the next level, and we're going to build the rest of it. So it's going to be dedicated to the fans, diehard fans of Battlestar Classic and of the Reimage series. We don't exclude them. We want them to be just biggest part. We want them to enjoy Classic Viper with the rest of us. So, like I said, this is the first one we'll do. As time goes on and we progress, we'll probably do another video showing you how much farther we've come. Like I said, please check us out. Please tell your friends. Comicpalooza 2018 is going to be the premiere, and depending on how well that goes, we may go to a couple other cities for the 40th anniversary, which, you guys, I know that's a big deal, and that's one thing we're trying to get this done for also, is the 40th anniversary of the original Battlestar Galactica. Alright, well, that is it for today. Like I said, it's getting hot out here already in Houston. So we're going to sign off, and we look forward to your comments, questions, input. But if you want to see this thing in Houston, start making plans for Comicpalooza 2018. Alright, this is Team BSG Carl signing off, and we look forward to talking to you and hearing your comments. Alright, thanks.